Good morning, Congressman Webster. Great to talk to you again, sir.
Well, it's great to be on, Mike. Thanks for letting me chat with you a little bit.
You're here to toot your horn a little bit, and you're doing what a big part of what Congress people do is to advocate for their constituents.
Yes, we had kind of a milestone we achieved here just recently over the past. My district got switched around, but when I added on Hernando here about 5 years ago, we were able to, since then, do more than $15 million return, not some sort of appropriating money for nothing, but these are people who called about federal agencies, the VA, IRS, Social Security, and deserved more treatment, but just couldn't get through. So we got them that much. Matter of fact, just this year alone, we've done over $1 million just in 2021. But federal government's not too easy to navigate, but we try to make it easier for constituents who have a problem with one of those agencies, including getting the IRS to admit they've been wrong, which is not the easiest thing.
We know they're wrong, but getting them to admit it, I mean, they're wrong all the time. Congressman Webster, I'll let you dive into this as deep as you want, but I want to focus on one point that I forget all the time. Congress gets so much criticism for, quote unquote, not getting anything done, but we're talking, and the criticisms about legislation. That's only part of what you do, advocating for your individual constituents. You got an office that's running 24/7, and that's probably a much more important part of the job during these times that needs to be talked about.
Yes. So we, not most members don't, but we keep more members and more staff in the district than we do in D.C. because the problems are with our constituents and they need help and we want to help them out. So it's worked out really well. We do pass bills. We get theirs. These days, I would tell you, there's not a whole lot of bills that are being passed that are worth anything. Matter of fact, it's better that we aren't passing bills.
I
because
can't argue that point. Well, our system of checks and balances, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, is designed to not get a whole lot done unless there is a consensus, a vast consensus that we need to do something, and this is the way to approach it. That's the way it's supposed to work. When you got a 50-50 divided nation, you're not going to get anything done that does not meet with approval well over 50-50.
Yes. So here, just a couple of days ago, I spent about 16 hours on a transportation committee meeting. Okay, and that was unbelievable. It was the Democrats' bill. Unfortunately, it had no Republican amendments, no ideas. They didn't even talk to us. It's on transportation. Everybody wants infrastructure, but their idea of infrastructure is way off base. And this liberal new green New Deal that they've got out there comprised most of that bill. So it's up to around $2 trillion. Well, it ends up, even the president couldn't live with that. And so the Senate, Republicans met with them, brought some Democrats along. And so there's at least a consensus on a framework where they would all work together. And the price tag is much less than the $2 trillion we had in the House. And it actually focuses on, the House called artwork infrastructure, and you name it, they could make it infrastructure, whatever it was. But the transportation bill in the Senate that there's an agreement with the president on, at least in concept, includes what I would consider, and I figure everybody you just talk to them on the street would consider infrastructure, roads and bridges and airports and seaports and things like that, which are true projects, true things that are needed, especially in Florida.
Do you think there is a good chance a much lower number than the Democrats are asking for will be signed talking about infrastructure the way you described it?
I think at least there's a step forward with that. And I think that the House bill, I think, is pretty much dead. But the Senate, along with the Republicans and Democrats plus the president, came up with a deal that would be manageable. It'd be something that could happen. It would help Florida. It would help our district. I've said several times, it's not just moving people into our state, that we need roads to do that, and tourists and so forth, a big part of our economy. But, there are times here in the last few years that people needed to get out of our state because of hurricanes and stuff like that. And so even those kind of roads and bridges all need to be working and in good shape, so that not only can we get in, but we also can leave when there needs to be a time where we leave. So I'm still working on my one idea with it's a bipartisan deal. I'm working with the lady who's the chairman of the House Appropriations Committee. We've been working together on a infrastructure bill, which would create an infrastructure bank. Mine that I'm working on is private money. People are willing from a private side to pony up money. It's new money. It'd be money that would not risk anything as far as the state or local or federal government are concerned. They would not be on the hit if there were to be something that failed. So anyway, we got some good momentum with that too. We're working really hard to make that happen.
Well, infrastructure helps business. It helps the economy. It helps move things. And you mentioned how important infrastructure is more than ever now here in Florida. We are experiencing astronomically record high growth right now. The highways and byways, and I travel all over north central Florida here, across the Nature Coast on up to Alachua County, down into the Tampa Bay area, and I've never seen anything like it. I get caught in a backup on 75 probably every single day. We are in dire need of transportation and infrastructure support here in build-outs. Do both sides get it that Florida needs help, and will we get it?
I think the average member of Congress understands that their area, no matter where they're from, needs to have roads and bridges and so forth. And it's just the leadership in the House have been bent on passing things that are not even good policy. They're just political in nature. But for the most part, I think the Congress as a whole, House and Senate, Democrat and Republican, know what infrastructure really is and would like to have something done.
Just roads
to aid their community.
And road construction is built with a gas tax. Do you think there might be a change in the way that's funded? I mean, you mentioned the infrastructure bank. That's a good step forward. But any other ways, a different way of taxation, like for instance, taxing electric cars?
Yes, there's that. There's several things that are out there. There's possibilities that'll come from it. I don't think people just want a gas tax increase, but really, if you think about it, just keeping inflation under control, which is not right now, is holding back the line, and it's sort of a hidden secret tax. Is when bread costs twice as much, or a piece of plywood costs 5 times as much, whatever it is, those kind of things add up. So I'm hoping that we don't necessarily need to just increase the gas tax. That's not going to help.
No, that's unfair.
It's going away.
What about taxing the electric cars? I mean, they get big tax benefits, but they're the ones that are going to be using the roads, and they should pay for the funding of the roads.
Yes, they should, and that's something we're considering, and we hope we can get there. The idea of paying for the miles you use on the road, whether it's electric or not, is something that's really important, so that everybody pays their share.
I wish you well, Congressman Webster. One final quickie, if you will. You're a big backer of the veterans. We have a lot of veterans in Florida. The Mission Act, signed into law under President Trump. My buddy Jimmy T. Smith is the Florida head of the Concerned Veterans for America, and they're all about advocating for the Mission Act. Is there any progress being talked about, about getting the word out, even just a PSAs, public service announcements, letting veterans know that this is another way to go for some people, and then get more doctors in the list? What's going on there?
Yes, well, number one, when we did. We believe in it, and the Republicans do at least, and I think the message is getting out there, and I think we're going to do a better job coming up in as time goes forward. We're going to be talking a lot about veterans and especially the Mission Act.
That's great to hear, and we'll leave it there. And I thank you as always for your time. God bless, and have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thanks for letting me be on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and thank you for returning all that money. $1.5 million just in 2021, I believe, is what he said. Congressman Dan Webster for the Nature Coast 11th District, right here live on your Nature Coast Morning News, 99.9 FM.